Crypto just got slammed by global war headlines, and XRP, it was right in the middle of it. Hundreds of millions liquidated, billions wiped out, price dropped fast by why the market was crashing. Something unbelievable was happening at that exact same time. Major banks, they were moving deeper into crypto. Morgan Stanley pushing into crypto, Sogen launching a stablecoin on the XRP ledger, and institutions preparing for the next phase. So while retail investors panicked, banks appear to be positioning. And the question right now, it's very simple. Is this just a war crash, or is this the setup before the next move? Welcome back to the show, everyone. As always, I ask you for two very small favors. Hit that thumbs up. It really supports the channel. It is free to do, and it tells YouTube that Rip needs to go to the moon. And I'll take all y'all with me. And make sure that you are subscribed and turn on those notifications. Let's kick it off with this, because it all started with a geopolitical shock. Reports confirmed that both US and Israeli military operations involving Iran. And almost immediately, what happened? Crypto markets reacted. It's that simple. Fast. Bitcoin dropped. Altcoins dropped harder. XRP fell roughly 9% in a single move. Went all the way down to $1.29. Liquidations exploded. Your longs, they got wiped out. Over 150,000 traders wiped out. That's roughly $500 million liquidated. All within an extremely short window. And you can see right here, we'll highlight it on the screen. But this is exactly what leverage markets look like during uncertainty. Fear spreads fast, and positions, they unwind even faster. Because when geopolitical risk hits, investors, they move to safety. Crypto's not safety. Crypto's risky. I think you know that. So where do they go? They find their little safe haven, maybe a little CD, a little treasury bond, but they ain't looking for speculation, folks. And we went over to Grok because I wanted to show you this interesting article which came over from the Economic Times. Unfortunately, I couldn't pull it up because they got 8 million ads. And even with my super powered PC, it was lagging. It was dragging it down. So I threw the article into Grok, tell Grok, sum it up for us, and we can go through it. So this is when we see the $128 billion erased. You can see the prices and the liquidations here. After Israeli strikes on the Iranian targets, your total crypto market cap, it dropped sharply, right? 128 billion, just like that, gone. 1 hour, that's all it took. And then suddenly what happened? Bitcoin's recovery, it started to look uncertain. When global tensions rise, everyone, markets don't care about fundamentals. They react to risk. And right now, risk is absolutely dominating the narrative. Now let's get over to CoinMarketCap. Let's look at the little DEX XRP trading view. You can see this thing. You can see the drop right down there to $1.29. That happened just when it was moving up too, right? Came all the way up, was about to hit our resistance at $1.35. And what happened? An instant rejection on it. Current value, we're at about $1.32. You can see it up here highlighted on your screen. There we go. Market cap sitting roughly around 79 billion. Daily volume pushing about 4 billion. Heavy activity. But heavy activity, what does that lead to? Heavy volatility. And right now, war headlines are moving markets faster than adoption news. But here's what's interesting about this, right? Because while prices are dropping, the XRP story, it just kept getting stronger. Who remembers this piece? And you're going to see where I'm going with this, because I know a lot of you was saying in the comments, this is old news, bro. Like, yeah, cool, it is. You're right, it's from February 18th. My bad for bringing it back up because it plays into a bigger picture. My bad, bro. Right in the middle of chaos, Ripple scored a major institutional win. You see it up here. Societe Generale, one of Europe's largest banks. Well, they just decided that, hey, we're going to launch a stablecoin and we're going to do it on the XRP ledger, right? Interesting, isn't it? The stablecoin is called EURCV and it's on the ledger. And why do I say this is interesting? Because I think, and I've spoken about this narrative before, I think what we're about to see are a bunch of different stable coins and all these different countries' currencies come up and be on the ledger, and then XRP is going to be the bridge. So think about it. You got USD, you got the euro, we're going to see the peso, the yen. We're going to see all these different stable coins built on the XRP ledger. And now what is a stable coin if we take this a step back further? It is the nation's currency, which is pegged one-to-one directly to the stable coin. So the US dollar, every one US dollar, you get one RL USD. Every one EURC, we're going to have one euro backing it. Every one, say, RL peso, we're going to have one peso backing it. It's always a one-to-one. So when we get all these different stable coins and they need to move money across these borders, XRP, since it's on the ledger, will be the bridge between them. You see what's starting to build here, folks. Now remember, this is fully compliant with MiCA regulations in Europe. This isn't an experiment. This is actual regulated banking infrastructure on the XRP ledger. This stablecoin, just like RLUSD, it is designed for institutions. Fast settlement, low fees, secure custody, the whole works. And Ripple infrastructure is involved in securing reserves. This is exactly the type of real-world financial usage XRP supporters, researchers, community members have talked about for years. Not speculation, actual banking rails. And even bigger than that, the stablecoin isn't limited to one blockchain, right? Because we see this article that comes out. Look at this bad boy. This is huge. It's going to operate across Ethereum, Solana, and the XRP ledger. Where did we just get news from Ripple not too long ago? That Ripple has an ETH sidechain. They're integrated with Sol. We know about the XRP ledger, and we also have Hyperliquid, folks. Are you starting to see what is going on here? Piece by piece, it is all starting to surface and come to life. This is going to look like a world where the back-end system is going to be run by stablecoins and XRP as a bridge asset. All of this news shows us that the ledger itself, it's being treated as serious financial infrastructure, not just another boring ass crypto network. Then we get over to Yahoo Finance. We see this article. Morgan Stanley, they target direct crypto custody with their trust bank application. This is a massive development. Morgan Stanley filed for a crypto custody charter. This is a huge move. Morgan Stanley manages trillions of dollars in assets, everyone. This charter would allow them to directly custody crypto assets. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you know XRP is going to be in the list as well. And eventually what this will lead to is Morgan Stanley offering you trading services. This is institutional infrastructure being built in real time. And their plan goes even further, because what did they just announce? Crypto trading through E-Trade could arrive early this year. That's right. And I'm sure you've heard of E-Trade, now haven't you? I know you have. Which E-Trade would open crypto access to millions of traditional investors. Just like Robinhood. People use E-Trade all the time on their phones. Trade, buy, sell, hold. They do it all. The more platforms that we get involved in this, the more retail we will bring in. The more retail that is attracted to this market, the more that these institutions will have to enter because their clients are going to be asking for these products. But this tells you right here something very important. Morgan Stanley's an animal. They're huge. Big banks are not pulling back here. Everyone said big banks will never enter crypto. Your Wall Street will never get involved. This is all going to be run by the public. You are seeing the complete opposite. Public is getting shaken out. Public is being removed from the markets, and the big banks are taking over. They are expanding every single day, even during crashes. And then we get this. Crypto VC, Paradigm, they plans a $1.5 billion fund expansion into AI and robotics. Why is this interesting? Who did Ripple just invest in that $5 million round? An AI company. An AI company which is going to be running payments 24/7, 365, no human interaction needed. Are you starting to see where this world is going? Capital flow is shifting, everyone, in a major way. We got major venture firms are raising massive funds. We got this one that just did a $1.5 billion fund, which shows that your institutions are rotating capital across emerging sectors. But crypto, at the end of the day, it is still part of your long-term strategy because infrastructure spending continues even during downturns. That's usually when you see the most money coming out during these downturns. And historically, infrastructure gets built during bear markets, not just in crypto, just look throughout history. They don't build infrastructure in bull markets. They build it in bear markets. And when you look at crypto, if your company can survive a bear market, you're in good shape. If they can survive multiple bear markets, you're in even better shape. So let me break down the situation for you right now. You got war headlines, which are crashing the markets. We're seeing liquidations wipe out traders. Price is reacting and we see it dropping. But at the same exact time as all that is going on and retail is getting freaked out, European banks are launching stablecoins. Morgan Stanley is building their custody infrastructure. And institutions just keep on pushing forward. Retail, we see chaos. Banks, they see opportunity. And historically, the biggest market shifts, they happen during uncertainty, not stability. So the real question is, was this just a war-driven crash or the moment that institutions quietly start positioning? Because if history repeats, and it usually does, the next major move in crypto, it will start. And it will start right when fear is at its highest. And right now, fear is everywhere. Stay locked in, folks. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Enjoy the weekend. I'll catch all y'all